they get the kind of like ability to record themselves without the live setting so they can sound a certain way. But this person is a totally deranged freak. Like, make no mistake about it.
That's horrific enough, regardless of who it's done to. But in this context, this is outright trans misogyny.
Yo! Okay, so for those of you that don't know, this is all going back. The root of this is a very kind of old drama. So there's a YouTube creator called Lily Orchard, okay? And Lily Orchard was accused of various sex crimes, including abusing their sister, Courtney Orchard. And that's the terms that I can put it in to hopefully be monetized. It's way worse than that, and you should go and look at it if you would like to go and look at that situation, okay? Now, Essence of Thought did a video about Lily Orchard a little while ago. Did a number of videos about Lily Orchard, okay? Which people kind of looked at and was well received because it was laying out some of the terrible things that Lily Orchard had done. And recently, Vangelina Scove did a video about Lily Orchard. And following that, Essence of Thought accused Vangelina Scove of plagiarizing them, which was utterly insane because the plagiarism was apparently screenshots. And I'm not joking. Essence of Thought claimed that Vangelina had plagiarized screenshots from their video. That's what they were claiming. And in the course of this, before the video came out, Essence of Thought messaged Vangelina, accused him of plagiarism, and said, you need to remedy this by giving us 30% of your AdSense revenue and your Patreon earnings and for the month, and AdSense revenue and sponsorship revenue from the video itself. They wanted 30%. So it was an insane amount to ask for. And then in a follow-up email, they went on to say, if you don't kind of remedy this, we're going to go public with the information, essentially. Now, they tried to argue that because they'd asked for an apology publicly, that it wasn't this extortion aspect that they were doing in the first email. But, you know, I don't agree with that. To me, what it seemed like is they were trying to do a shakedown. That's absolutely what it seemed like to me. I've done numerous videos on this that you can go and watch, right? If you want to get up to speed with things that have happened. And so have numerous other people done videos on the situation too. Vangelina responded to this with, you know, a well put together video that laid it out. And they said they didn't take the screenshots from the video and they found them in other places. And that was kind of left at that. And Essence of Thought then went on to make a few more videos about it, okay? From there, Courtney Orchard, who is Lily Orchard's sister, came forward to say that Essence of Thought had essentially taken the research from them anyway. So this idea that Vangelina had plagiarized Essence of Thought was absurd because Essence of Thought had taken all this information from Courtney anyway. And when watching the video, I said, I don't think Essence of Thought can respond to this because you're kind of debunking a victim. Like, can you really do that as a progressive? Can you really come out and debunk the victim if they're kind of criticizing you for something? It just seems like an absurd idea. However, I was wrong. And it turns out that Essence of Thought is absolutely willing to respond to this. And they've done so in not one, but 2 videos, which we're going to watch in order. The first one being debunking claims that we stole our Lily Orchard research. And this latest one, Courtney Orchard has destroyed their credibility. What? That seems kind of insane to me. Like, I get you might want to sort of push back a bit on it, but the way this is presented sounds nuts. Especially if you know of what Lily Orchard did to Courtney. Anyway, let's see what happens.
This whole situation is an absolute mess. I have let so much slide the past few months. I said nothing as someone publicly denounced me for having limits as to how much child abuse I could cover as a CSA survivor, and for being somewhat unclear whilst venting after a particularly triggering revelation. I let that same person opportunistically lie about me plagiarizing them whilst I was busy dealing with actual plagiarism of our work, my abuser coming out of nowhere, and a mountain of anti-trans bigotry. I still said nothing as a second person, a friend of theirs, joined them, publicly denouncing me for not sharing screenshots I never claimed to have and for respecting victims' boundaries. Oh, let's not forget their friend's assertion that I made bank exploiting victims via our victim testimony videos. You know, the videos from which all the money made was donated to Strongheart's Native Helpline. Despite everything, I was willing to accept the situation so as not to damage the credibility of these people and risk calling their testimonies into question. That was until an entire YouTube channel was created, not to expose a sexual predator, but to lie about me. At this point, I have to defend myself, not just for me, but for all the people they've been lying to in the larger Lily Orchard critical community. But first, a quick content warning for the following: grooming and sexual harassment. If you like our work and appreciate the research put into each video, please consider supporting the channel via Patreon. You can also support us by liking, commenting, and sharing this video on social media. I'd also just like to take the time to remind our viewers that the statements made throughout our videos are the opinions of myself, the host, based on the evidence I have available to me. They are not and should not be taken as unquestionable fact, which is why we reference everything, because we're valuable. Thus we strive to give you, the viewer, the ability to check all evidence for yourself in order to make up your own mind, which is what the reference numbers in the top left corner are for, being numbers that match up with the reference list found in the transcript linked down below. As such, we encourage all viewers to do their own research to reach an informed conclusion.
So the thing is there's a lot of YouTubers that are like this, right? Where they get the kind of like ability to record themselves without the live setting so they can sound a certain way. But this person is a totally deranged freak. Like, make no mistake about it. Despite the, the effort to maintain this sense of calm, cool, and collected here, they're a totally insane freak, and what they're doing is crazy. The idea that they're going to respond to Courtney in the way that they are is wild to me. I guess we'll hear what they've got to say. There's two sides to every story. But yeah, I think that Courtney noticed and recognized that Ethel was doing something crazy in trying to go after Evangelina for this plagiarism thing. What? Okay, why? Everyone keeps asking me what this person looks like. I'll show you. Guys, I've got no idea why it's so important for me to show you this. Sorry, I've just got a... Oh, wait. Look at this. Now my live stream is in there too, because I changed my title. So my live stream is getting shown above Essence of Thoughts channel. I'm not sweeping. I'm going to do it. For fuck's sake. I'm going to do it.
Of the fact that it was...
There we go. You happy now? You happy? Are you happy now? Are you happy?
About the topic. Lastly, do not harass anyone discussed in the video. The evidence is here for people who want it. That's how we do things. Hi there, my name is Ethel Thurston, she, her, they, them, and today we'll be blowing the whistle on certain figures within the Lily Orchard critical community who have been lying to the rest of said community about what took place in the background during the creation of our series covering Lily Orchard. Today's video will specifically concentrate on the claim that all our research was handed to us and thus stolen from another party, namely Onion, aka Gallade, and Brit, aka Nex.
Oh my god.
Note that the only reason I'm going public with this is because both Brit and Courtney have demonstrated a malicious disregard for the truth. I tried reaching out to both of them in private. I even told Courtney that I was doing so because I didn't want to drag them publicly, potentially breaking the community's trust in them by showing how they misinformed them. But they chose to not only fail to correct said misinformation, but go out of their way to continue promoting it, leaving me no other option than to defend myself by publishing the evidence I have. I will be sharing private correspondence between both myself and Brit, as well as myself and Courtney. This is a last resort. I don't like the
Okay,
fact that
that's
I'm being
wonderful.
forced to do
But how
this,
do I
but
make
I am
money off depressed people?
Sweet for me, chase a chud.
Lily, I'm afraid I can't do that, okay? I'm sorry. You're a weirdo.
ultimately
Freak
being
pedo.
forced to. I will also be sharing screenshots of the private Discord server I set up, which both Brit and Onion were part of. All personal information will be blocked from our screenshots in order to avoid doxing people, so if you see a redacted
that's
quote,
wonderful.
that is
But how
why.
do I make
The context
money
of the
off
quote
depressed
should give you a
people?
general
Chud,
sense of
have
what has
you
been
ever seen
removed.
the movie Robin Hood Men in Tights? I wonder if that mole moves around like it does in the movie. Freak.
Come on! Appearance comments, really an Austrian painter? Thank you for the 333.
I also want to make it clear that I am giving Brit, Onion, and Courtney full permission to do the same, so long as they go about blocking out any and all private information. We're doing this since the only way to effectively address accusations of shady practices is to bring everything into the light. That is why we're here. Though, to give some general context on things, in 2021, Essence of Thought began publishing a series of videos exposing Lily Orchard as a child predator.
See, the funny thing about all this, oh look, hey, they used their, they presented reality here at least. Look, I just, okay. Essence of Thought has got that fucking thing where they can't resist but respond to every little piece of thing about them, right? Clearly. And the fact they've done 2 videos about this is wild when you consider what Courtney has been through. Now, look, I don't think that as a victim it gives you right to make false claims about someone or something like that. But I would have just thought that the better play here would have been to just disregard this or put out a quick statement and move forward and leave it at that, right? You know, kind of just say like, look, obviously some claims have been made, maybe address the more serious ones. Like, for example, I think one of the claims that Courtney made that I was a bit skeptical about because it just seemed quite outlandish was this idea that Essence of Thought had held back proof of like abuse that could be used with the police. That seemed extreme to me. So maybe if you had proof that goes against that, okay, maybe present that. But to do with this big video debunking all of the claims seems absurd. But we'll see. Maybe they've got a point. Let's see what happens, okay?
Predator, with her not only seeking to normalize child predation in fiction, but grooming and sexting minors. We'd actually been working on said series since January of 2020, and would take a break between 2021 and 2022, ultimately publishing a total of 7 videos on the topic, before the series entered an uncertain hiatus in early 2023. It was one of the hardest series we have ever created, due to the amount of research and background care involved.
Meredith.
So you can perhaps imagine my dismay when it came to light that a drama YouTuber, Vangelina Skov, had plagiarized our series, ripping our evidence, analysis, and even the order in which events were discussed from 5 separate
Okay,
So,
that's
yeah.
wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Hello, this is Ifel Thurston from Essence of Thought. On Thursday I was thankful my coffee was in my thermos as I was thirsty. Thanks.
Thanks for the $3. You guys. So, I support Vangelina in this whole escapade. Because it was such an absurd claim that was made, and it was so obvious. You need to go back and watch the full coverage to see. It was so obvious, it seems so obvious to me that Essence of Thought wasn't doing this because they genuinely were annoyed or bothered about the plagiarism. They were kind of tapping into the H-Bomber guy scenario, trying to latch on to what he had done with the plagiarism thing in order to make their own case, in order to bring attention to themselves, and try and get a quick 30% off of the revenue of Vangelina's video, you know? Because also they're saying that the analysis was taken too. So even if you were to say, okay, well, maybe the screenshots were taken, which I don't think they were, you really are trying to claim that someone having similar analysis to you is plagiarism now. Someone having the same ideas as you is plagiarism now. And what makes this thing so much more absurd is the fact that this person is supposed to be a fucking lefty. And what is it about fucking lefties, man, that they will see a business burn to the ground and not think twice about it, okay? But the moment that intellectual property is involved and someone takes your fucking screenshots, you become the biggest fucking capitalist Paramount Pictures motherfucker going. Oh, you plagiarized my video, I want to cut. It's so fucking shameful to me that these people pretend to be fucking lefties, But the moment it's convenient, they become hyper-capitalist about their IP. It's mental. When it's plagiarism too as well.
Videos. Their usage of our series was so extensive, in fact, that it accounted for 30% of their videos' total runtime. I approached them in private to resolve the matter. They threatened me, leading us to publish evidence of said plagiarism.
Oh my God. They threatened me. They threatened me. Let me just tell you what that means, okay? So what actually happened, God, these freaks, these essay freaks are such dishonest fuckers. It's unbelievable, okay? They will twist things and present things in a certain way to make themselves look way better. What actually happened was, Essence of Thought sent the email demanding 30% of ad revenue, sponsorship money, and Patreon money for the entire month because of what happened. They then sent another email in which they said, if you don't resolve this situation, we're going to go public. Okay. And then following all of that, Vangelina responded, because Vangelina has got like a management company. Vangelina responded saying, essentially, pass this through to the lawyer, or you need to deal with the legal team if you want to engage further, right? So the idea that that is a threat is crazy. You threatened them and tried to extort them, and they in response defensively said that you need to go through the legal team. How is that them threatening you? It's so crazy the way these video essay people will just edit themselves to just look better. It's the most insufferable thing that I see, you know? And people do it all the fucking time. It's so annoying.
This resulted in a back and forth, with Scorf denying the claims without providing evidence of their assertions, and us debunking said assertions. This isn't the focus of the video, just to be clear. This is the backdrop to everything that happened. It was during this period that a couple of people in what can be described as the Lily Orchard critical community began making various accusations against us, including that we had stolen our research from them. So let's begin with the big claim that Brit and Onion had supplied myself and Levi with the evidence used in our series about Lily Orchard. The place most people have probably seen this is in the pinned comment to Lazy Bedhead's trash fire of a video regarding Scor's plagiarism. The post reads as, quote, "Those of us who have actually been victimized by Lily Orchard are utterly pissed at Ethel."
Oh my God, dude. They're going into the comments. Lolcow gene. Lolcow gene. Lolcow gene. Lolcow gene. Suffering with a lolcow gene. Classic.
And have tried to get her to understand the harm she's doing to not only us, but Lily's current audience. Myself and one of the other blogs provided those screenshots and context to Ethel during the making of her Lily Orchard series in the hopes that people would be warned about Lily's predatory behaviour. She didn't go painstakingly looking for them, she had people providing them to her on a silver platter. Ethel is just another content creator who used an entire community of abuse survivors for money. She disappeared for over a year in the middle of what was supposed to be an investigation, only to reappear out of the blue, lashing out and attacking people. Ethel does not care about victims, she doesn't care about any of the issues she claims to care about. Ethel is an unhinged, selfish grifter looking for money and control. Signed, Brit. End quote. This is an assertion she'd repeat over on Tumblr, stating the following whilst replying to someone asking if it were true. Quote, "Yep, that's what I'm saying. Those screenshots have been circulated for years now, and most of the ones she had were provided by me, Onion, Cypher, and others who have made the effort to sort this stuff and get it out to people. Ethel didn't spend hours scrolling tags, manually looking for things on her own. She had us helping her. Onion and I were in a group chat with her during the making of at least some of those videos. I'm not even concerned with being named or acknowledged, but Ethel trying to accuse someone else of plagiarism over it is utter bullshit, and it makes it harder for people who want to cover Lily. They already risk Lily and her fanbase going after them. We don't need to add anti-Lily content creators pulling this shit too." End quote. First thing I want to note is that I have no idea who Cypher is. That's not a name I recognize. The only two people added to the private Discord server were both Brit and Onion. That is it. Second, with regard to abandoning things in the middle of our expose, it's true that we never got around to publishing one of the videos we had planned regarding Lily's porn accounts, including her Sankaku account, and Lily's various alts such as Our Creative and Tara Kali. Said video had proven a difficult one, which is when I came up with the idea of using Brit's testimony to bridge the gap. Onion thought this was a great idea. I asked Brit if she was up for going next, and she told me she needed time to write it since there
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god, dude. I can't listen. I'm skipping this. Don't care.
Yet sadly, certain people had set about repeating said lie, even though they were not part of the process. One of those people is Lily Orchard's sibling, Courtney, who asserted the following in response to another Tumblr post lying about us refusing to talk with Courtney. Don't worry, we'll cover that in the next video. Here's what Courtney declared. Quote, "Don't worry, Ethel. I've been telling everyone that you don't own those screenshots and didn't get them. Extremely happy face. Karma, she be a bitch, and guess what? So am I. You want to act like the authority on Lily Orchard? I'm her..."
Like, look, I think what's happened here is quite clear that Courtney, you know, is the person. I mean, look, Courtney is the person that got, whatted, allegedly, apparently. I think it's documented, is it? I don't fucking know. By Lily Orchard. And then Ethel is trying to act like they're the big I am about it and they control the fucking narrative and discourse about it. And if you make a video about it and happen to use the same screenshots, right? Then they're going to come for you for that. And Courtney clearly isn't fucking happy with it. Because from Courtney's perspective, they don't fucking care about this, insignificant, trivial screenshot dispute plagiarism thing. If someone is getting the information out there to let people know what a fucking freak Lily is, they're probably going to be happy with it. And then obviously, Essence of Thought is having the nose put out of joint because they're getting hauled over the coals for acting like very protective over the concept of making a video about a Lily Orchard video. Because apparently they claim that all they wanted was credit. They just wanted credit for it. And the fact that wasn't delivered is what led to them to ask for all these outlandish claims.
"Sister, get on my level, pleb." End quote. Then, a while later, Courtney uploaded their first ever video introducing themselves, which contained the following section.
"And don't think I've forgotten about you, Ethel. I should thank you after all. That greedy stunt you pulled with Vangelina is really what pushed me to stop relying on someone else to get the truth out about my sister and just start my own series. I look forward to what you have to say when I use all the same screenshots that Vangelina used. The ones you don't own. But I'm getting ahead of myself. That's for the next video."
Oh.
And then they published that video, in which they once again assert said now.
By the way, is that the video in which they talk about what happened to them? Is that right?
Meanwhile, I came onto the scene and started doing something. Because I have the means to do so, being Lily's actual sister, knowing far more than Ethel did by having a whole group of people picking over years of documentation for her. Well, Ethel tried to claim that Vangelina plagiarized her series on my sister because of the screenshots that were used. Screenshots that came from Tumblr, from blogs like Brit, Gallade, Morals, and a few others who had spent years documenting Lily's shady shit while Ethel was busy doing whatever it was she was doing. They came from archive links that Ethel did not make. Dailymotion archives she didn't even know existed. Screenshots Ethel is now trying to say she owns the rights to. I, however, find it odd that she thinks she owns the rights.
No, I think it is. Yeah, okay, I'm not playing that. Hang on,
I have the Google Docs and the Dailymotion archives right here. They will be linked in the comment section so everyone can see what Ethel saw. Oh wait, what she had other people see and pick through for her. That's more accurate.
If that's the case, why then didn't you go...
No, it is. It is, guys. 1320. Oh, that's rough, man. This is the one I had to skip because it was too extreme. I couldn't handle it. Yeah, this is rough, man. So, just to clarify what's happened here, okay? Just to clarify the situation. So Courtney Orchard released a video documenting the disgusting things that happened to them at the hands, the alleged disgusting things that happened to them at the hands of their... I didn't watch it, no. I didn't watch it. It was too much. Oh, did they watch it? They must have watched it. So they must have watched this video where they document all the terrible things that happened. And then at the end, right, this happens.
I decided that sleeping in a bus shelter in the rain was a better option than going back to those people. And don't think I've forgotten about you, Ethel. I should thank you after all. That greedy stunt you pulled with Vangelina is really what pushed me to stop relying on someone else to get the truth out about my sister and just start my own series.
So, as a thought, watch this video, presumably, where they document the terrible things that happened to them at Hands of Lily Orchard. And then they were like, right, here's the bit where they talk about us. We're going to clip this out and debunk this straight away. Like, oh, I don't know, man. That seems kind of crazy. Like, it's like very deranged behavior, isn't it? We need to debunk this next time round. I don't know. It's just kind of crazed. It's just kind of crazed to clip this part out of a video where they talk about the terrible child abuse they suffered, just to debunk them.
Go into those links and show which pieces of evidence we had supposedly stolen. Why didn't you do what we did when proving Vangelina Scott's plagiarism and, you know, demonstrate it? Why didn't you connect specific screenshots throughout our video to specific pieces of evidence in said folder? Well, it's because Courtney knows they're lying. They're just asserting we use these resources, hoping that their viewers will just accept their assertion that that's where we sourced our evidence. The reality, meanwhile, is that Courtney was not involved with the creation of any of our videos at any point. They do not know what took place behind the curtain, yet they are running around pretending like they do. Unless Brit shares something with them, i.e. evidence that both Brit and Courtney would still have access to and thus be able to provide, they are straight up choosing to lie to everyone in the Lily Orchard critical community. They are promoting disinformation, i.e. misinformation they know not to be true. That is why Brit and Courtney's staunch refusal to supply evidence to support their accusations against us can and should be taken as an admission of guilt on their part. I make no accusations without evidence. I don't think it's asking too much to expect that from everyone else. So, focusing on the evidence, the truth as Courtney claims, they clearly don't care about that. If they did, they'd be providing evidence to back up their accusations, which they have never done. They have never shared any evidence that our research was plagiarized from anyone. I didn't think they would when they announced their video, and I was proven right.
Yeah, Courtney. Listen, kind of sucks that you got molested by Lily Orchard. That was pretty bad. But can you supply us with just such an insane thing to do? I don't even, you know, Essence of Thought could be 100% correct about this and correct and in the right. I'm not sure. I'm not certain. My own perspective is, I don't know. But to go after someone who has had something so terrible happen to them because they're not supplying enough evidence of the claim that you, in fact, took the screenshots from someone else. Like, why would you not just leave it alone? Why on earth wouldn't you fucking just leave it and just move forward? Why did you find the need to respond to it?
They just repeated Brit's already debunked assertions, seemingly reveling in the prospect of misleading the greater Lily Orchard critical community, giving absolutely zero care to how said easily debunked lies could potentially tarnish their reputation, their credibility as Lily Orchard's first victim, and subsequently any testimony they give in future. That means Courtney was willing to destroy their credibility over... what exactly? These ego games they seem to believe we're playing? It's not just what they say in their videos that make me think that, though we will see plenty of examples in the next video. It's the post, the whole quote, "You want to act like an authority on Lily Orchard? I'm her sister. Get on my level, pleb." End quote. I have never claimed to be the authority on Lily Orchard.
There's no way! Debunking! I'm debunking the hyperbolic statement that you made about me! Come on, man!
I've never attempted to police anyone else covering the topic, even people I fucking despise. I have only called out plagiarism so blatant that numerous people acknowledge the uncanny feeling of deja vu they had whilst watching Scott's original video, as if they'd seen it all before. This is a straw man, plain and simple.
This is a straw man. You're straw manning me. Oh my god, there's no way. Okay, this video is kind of boring though. What's this other one that they released? Courtney Orchard has destroyed their credibility. Oh my god, they did a full response. We got to see this.
The only reason Ethel reached out was to clear her name regarding my mix-up and insist that she didn't call it Lily Drama. After all this time of me trying to get into contact, this snake reaches out only when I embarrass her, under her own video of clownery, and only to clear her name. Did she have anything to say about my sister? No. Anything to say about my story? No. Anything about her lack of contact? Not until I brought it up.
Oh really? I didn't mention anything about our lack of contact when I reached out to you, at least not until you brought it up.
Oh.
Then I guess you won't mind me reading my opening message to you.
Yo! Here we go. We're going to debunk the sex crime victim. Let's go!
On Tumblr. Quote, I told Brit you were welcome on the Lily Orchard Command Center Discord server when they confirmed it was you back in May of 2023, also asking whether you'd like a group call or whether you'd like to talk to us individually. Don't know why they never followed up. I assumed that they were talking to you about it, but I'd already begun my series about the events of 2019, which I'm still working on. Screenshots also explain why I haven't responded to random comments claiming to be Lily's family, as you're not the only one. I wanted to approach you about this in private as I have no ill will towards you, and I don't want to publicly shame you for criticizing me with only half the picture. I get why you're mad. Just felt you should know I wasn't opposed to talking to you.
More.
End quote. Along with my message, I supplied 2 screenshots of me telling Brit that it was okay to add Courtney to the server, before asking Brit how Courtney would like to talk to us. I then followed up said evidence by stating that I was sorry that Poppy had sexually harassed them. Courtney's response, refusing to talk about anything other than the screenshots they wrongly believed I had. Isn't it interesting how Courtney never shows you that part of the conversation, being very selective in what they do share? I'm not going to do that. Our full conversation...
So yeah, one thing I would say about Courtney is, you know, they did seem to share quite cropped images, and they did make some the claims about the text messages seem crazy to me. You know, I refuse to believe that SS4 would not share information that could lead to legal consequence or something. That seems kind of insane to me. But anyway, nonetheless, I just think the best response to all of this would have been to just not respond and just leave it and move forward. But obviously, Ethel cannot fucking resist. And yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's also, yeah, that is true. It does feed into the Poppy Xena stuff as well.
Will be linked down below, minus a single message Courtney sent that I sadly missed before their account was terminated, so you can see exactly what was said in full context. Point is, Courtney wasn't the one who brought the topic up, they were the one refusing to talk about it, at least to begin with. I was the one who started there for reasons we'll discuss later on, we'll also get to the screenshots I shared. So, Courtney couldn't have made a more blatant lie if they tried, which would lead any rational person to question, what else could they be lying?
Cheers, my dude. Let's agree to disagree that I am getting one guide.
True, thank you.
Indeed, Courtney seems to think that I'm going to take their lies in perpetuity, never reacting, never sharing evidence of what was actually said between us, meaning they'll never be caught, that they can just go on lying to the greater Lily Orchard critical community. Well, it's time for Courtney to get a reality check. But first, a quick content warning for the following. Grooming, sexual harassment, domestic abuse, police violence, trauma, transmisia, and transmisogyny.
Yo, okay, let's go.
Video, please consider supporting the channel via Patreon. You can also support us by liking, commenting, and sharing this video on social media. I'd also just like to take the time to remind our viewers that the statements made throughout our videos are the opinions of myself, the host, based on the evidence I have available to me. They are not and should not be taken as unquestionable fact, which is why we reference everything, because we're valuable. Thus we strive to give you, the viewer, the ability to check all evidence for yourself in order to make up your own mind, which is what...
So transmisogyny is misogyny perpetuated against a trans woman, specifically, and transmisia is... They're trying to change it from transphobia, because phobia is fear, misia is hate, so they're trying to change it from trans fear to trans hate. Also, hang on a minute, guys. Wait. Hold the phone. I thought the trans women were women. Why are there different types of misogyny then? Because you're supposed to be a woman, aren't you? I would have thought you'd experience misogyny just like a woman does. Because you're a woman, are you not? Is that not the argument that you make? Hang on a minute. Whoa! We cracked it open, guys. What's going on? What's all that about? No, normal black guy. They all have to be tokens to you. I don't think a black person is automatically a token, though. After spazzing out on the guy yesterday for being upset with it because he made fun of your precious Fallout. I wasn't upset, I was just disagreeing with his take. But anyway, I think you're a troll, so we're going to leave it at that. We've cracked the egg, guys. We've cracked the egg.
What the reference numbers in the top left corner are for, being numbers that match up with the reference list found in the transcript linked down below. As such, we encourage all viewers to do their own research to reach an informed conclusion about the topic. Lastly, Do not harass anyone discussed in the video. The evidence is here for people who want it.
Good.
That's how we do things.
True.
Hi there, my name's Ethel Thurston, she, her, they, them, and today we'll be blowing the whistle on certain figures within the Lily Orchard critical community who have been lying to the rest of said community about what took place in the background regarding the creation of our series covering Lily Orchard. Today's video will be a response to Brittany's call-out video, building on the previous response in which we showed how both Britt and Courtney were lying when they claimed that we stole the research for our Lily Orchard series. So if you haven't seen that, I suggest doing so before this video.
Too boring,
It also
get into
chapter
it.
Giving some context for everything. Context I don't plan on repeating here. Note that the only reason I'm going public with this evidence is because both Britt and Courtney have demonstrated a malicious disregard for the truth. I tried reaching out to both of them in private. Not only that, but...
Which transgender person are you targeting now? Whichever one's the most annoying.
As we just saw in my initial message, I even told Courtney that I was doing so because I didn't want to drag them publicly, potentially breaking the community's trust in them. But Courtney chose to continue promoting said misinformation, turning it into disinformation, i.e. a lie, leaving me no other option than to go public. I will be sharing private correspondence between both myself...
By the way, I'll just say it again. I think the only thing that that is worth having some response to is this idea of withholding evidence, okay? Everything else is just a shit fight as far as I'm concerned. But I do think that Courtney made this claim that they were withholding evidence, and I don't know if that's going to be... I'm pretty sure they're probably going to have... Well, they can't prove that they don't have evidence they're withholding. But then I don't think Courtney really showed that that was the case. But anyway, let's see what they say.
As well as myself and Courtney. This is a last resort. I don't like the fact that I'm being forced to do this, but I am, ultimately, being forced to, as we'll discuss later on, in the chapter about protecting Lily Orchard's victims.
Oh my god. This is like, there needs to be a name for this. You know the lolcow gene, right? There needs to be a name for the attempt to validate you responding to something that you don't need to respond to. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, I have to do this. I have to do this. It's kind of like Boogie, say. Boogie would constantly respond to his trolls and detractors. And he probably had some reasoning or justification to do that in his head to do it. But the truth is, you can disregard the vast majority of the shit that is said about you. It literally is you know, simple. But this person is like autistically focused on this idea that they must respond to all this shit that Courtney is saying. It's just cope. Yeah, sure. It's just cope then. It's cope.
I will also be sharing screenshots of the private Discord server I set up, which both Britt and Onion were a part of. All personal information will be blocked from our screenshots in order to avoid doxing people. So if you see a redacted quote, that is why. The context of the quotes should give you a general sense of what has been removed. I also want to make it clear that I'm giving Britt, Onion, and Courtney full permission to do the same, so long as they go about blocking out any and all private information. We're doing this since the only way to effectively address accusations of shady practices is to bring everything into the light. That is why we're here. Though, before we get to the video, we should probably start with the post that sparked me to reach out to Courtney with the message read out at the start, which was their response to someone asking their opinion on the whole Vangelina Score situation. Of particular note is the assertion that, quote, Ethel claims to have screenshots of Lily sexting a minor and still has not addressed that with me, who could use those and actually have Lily charged, end quote. So, quite a charged accusation, with Courtney telling people that our supposed refusal to share evidence might be the reason Lily Orchard hasn't been charged, effectively accusing us of aiding a sexual predator. Yet, interestingly, this is not the aspect we chose to address in our opening message to Courtney, but they flat out refused to discuss anything until we gave them said screenshots. When I asked them to supply proof of us claiming to have such evidence, they naturally couldn't find any, leading them to apologize.
Okay. Sorry, I've been editing my post because I did in fact remember my facts wrong, and for that I'm deeply sorry. You said you're in contact with said minor, not that you had screenshots. Oh, uh-oh. Courtney, debunked. Courtney's been debunked. I'm still looking for anywhere I said that you did to fix that so the wrong narrative isn't spread.
Apologize before going on to edit their post to include the following update. Quote, super big edit, I've gotten something wrong. Ethel was in contact with a minor that was sexted, did not claim to have screenshots, I remembered that wrong, that's all on me, end quote, which is something Courtney went on to allude to in their video.
Granted, I had misremembered her own claims in my call-out, something I have since rectified.
The thing to note about this is just how vague it is. Courtney is never clear about the specifics of what they got wrong, just that they did before patting themselves on the shoulder for rectifying their mistake. Now, this alone wouldn't be a big problem, were it not for the fact that Courtney repeats the accusation that I was withholding.
Oh, okay. See, dude, I fucking knew. I'm pretty sure when I watched it, I thought this seemed absurd. This seemed excessive, and it looks like this was the one thing that they said that I was like, ooh, I don't know about that. So yeah, let's see.
Holding said screenshots at multiple points throughout their video.
She also refused to get me into contact with the minor that Lily sexted. The minor she touted in her boring-ass video that she was in contact with. With screenshots of Lily sexting a minor, I can actually go to the cops and do something. Ethel doesn't care. Again, being in the same province as my sister, if I had the screenshots of her sexting a minor, I could go to the cops here. I could have something done here. Could potentially get her hard drive seized. Unlike Ethel, who lives where again? Not a single bus ride away from Lily, I'll tell you that much.
Nobody watching this video, unless they decided to randomly dig through Courtney's now terminated Tumblr, is going to realize that this is misinformation that I never claim to have said screenshots. Having a correction elsewhere on a now deleted
See, I genuinely don't have a problem with this. I genuinely don't have an issue with pointing out this thing, because I think that is quite a big claim. Do you know what I mean?
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Jessica Bizzle became a member.
Or just corrected the
Jessica
record on it a
Bizzle
little bit, yeah.
Celebrates 1
Hey,
month of
Jessica, thank
membership.
you.
The other points she was saying what she could do with screenshots. Not still saying Ethel had screenshots.
Yeah, sure. I think the point is that Courtney was a bit unspecific in the way they presented it, so it made it sound... I mean, that's certainly what I took away from watching it, is that the accusation was that Ethel had these screenshots, but she never had these screenshots. She's like contact with a person or something, right? That's my understanding of it. But yeah. But Ethel confirmed they're talking to those people. That was the point I took away. Oh, that's interesting. So maybe you took that away. Maybe you took that away. But I think the overall point that's being made here, that Courtney's trying to get across, is Ethel has got communication with someone that Lily Orchard has engaged with. There could be evidence there that's useful. And Ethel has not put me in contact with them. You know, further detrimenting the case, right?
Tumblr doesn't mean it's okay to repeat said misinformation in a separate piece. It actually makes it worse. Not only are they promoting that misinformation to a new audience, they're promoting misinformation they've previously admitted wasn't true, making it active disinformation, i.e. a lie, just as...
So yeah, Courtney should have been more clear, I think is what I'd say on that. If other people took something else away, then fair enough. That's maybe it was, I mean, if I took that away, you took that away, uncertain. But I think that there's still a point here that, yeah, if you've got contact with this minor that Lily's apparently contacted, you should make an effort to perhaps make that contact so that Courtney's able to move it forward.
So that they can claim that I quote-unquote don't care, whilst accusing me of aiding a sexual predator who preys on children. That's horrific enough regardless of who it's done to, but in this context, this is outright transmisogyny.
Yo! What the fuck, dude? Where did that come from? What the fuck?
Courtney is knowingly lying about an AMAB trans femme person, presenting them as being complicit in child sexual abuse at the height of the ongoing anti-trans moral panic, conflating trans people with grooming children. That is actually dangerous. And again, Courtney knows they're lying. They just don't care. Their only objective at this point is to hurt me for some slight they imagined. Sadly, this wasn't the only piece of misinformation.
Oh my god. Okay, so that took a turn. That took a turn at the end. Oh my god! So first of all, my thought process is calling them out for not being clear enough about that detail is fair enough and clearing the record on that. But what they've done is they've twisted it into an ideology identity-based thing of, oh, this is actually trans misogyny that you're doing, and you're attacking a trans AMAB person at the height of the groomer panic, right? They're trying to like inject bigotry where there isn't bigotry. This Courtney person seems like a kind of woke individual, but they're trying to inject bigotry because it's going to, you know, improve the way it's viewed by their audience, right? That's exactly what is happening there. Clearly, there's no trans misogyny happening there, but they've managed to do this insane narrative stretch where they go, well, you're accusing me of lying and defending a sex victim, a sex criminal at the height of the moral panic, and that's trans misogyny. Standard playbook from these people, okay? Standard move.
This information Courtney promoted, as can be seen in the rest of the post, which, after their edit, still read as quote, yeah, I think it's ironic that Ethel wanted nothing more to do with what she called Lily drama for her own mental health. But when someone who is friends with Rachel Oates gets more views than she did on the same topic, covering the same past of a woman that isn't going to change, complaining about plagiarism when Gallade Britt did most of the research and sorting, her mental health is just fine then. I went public half a year ago. Ethel avoided my attempts to get in touch with her. She was given my Discord and never reached out to me herself, knowing I was trying to get in contact. But she's more concerned with plagiarism, that never happened, by the way, than actually doing something about a predator and pedophile. I think her newfound interest is performative and nothing more than view farming or personal beef. And
Okay, where's the lie though? Where's the lie? Where's the fucking lie, exactly?
I learned my lesson with Poppy, end quote. Now, we've already debunked the assertion that it was Onion, aka Gallade, and Brit who did our research in the previous video, so that doesn't need to be addressed again. What we will address is the assertion that I labelled Lily Orchard's abuse of her victims, quote-unquote, Lily drama, with Courtney explicitly attributing said statement to me. I never said that. Ever.
Ooh.
We actually have an informal ban on the word drama in our community server.
Okay, what's this?
I never said that. Ever. We actually have a...
Oh my god, this looks like fucking gold. What is this? If it's just two large personalities clashing over, say for example, sponsored hair products, I don't think it belongs here. If it's not abuse, manipulation, or exploitation, it certainly does. Notice how the term drama is so nebulous that it allows certain people to throw anything they don't want under it. It offers privileged creators who don't want to put in the effort to say, tackle racism, to effectively ban discourse about racism on the left without technically saying it's banned. I'm not saying you were doing this, by the way, but we saw how the secular community used it to try and drown out discourse on transphobia. I always find, I mean, you know, regardless of whatever the beef is between these two, whether who use drama or not, it's just the way that stuff gets referred to. Drama. Yes, things just become drama. You know? If you put something out publicly, people are going to discuss it and discourse about it, and it then becomes drama. That's the way it is. Okay? And people are going to refer to it as such. These kind of people are like, don't call it drama. It's not drama. Someone got raped. Yes, sometimes someone getting raped is the best drama of all. Sorry to break it to you. It just is. That's just how it works. Suck it up, okay? If you don't want it to be in drama, don't talk publicly about your rape. Simple.
An informal ban on the word drama in our community server due to how the word has been...
Wait, hang on. We missed one there. Sorry.
Ever. We actually have an informal ban on the word...
The D word. Do not like the D word, sorry. What was the other term they used back in 2019? Ah, yes. Controversy. Abuse is a problem. Manipulation is a problem. Drama, meanwhile, well, it puts the focus on the aesthetics of something rather than the content. Drama can be abuse and manipulation, yet it can also be calling those things out.
Drama in our community server.
We don't tend to describe things as drama here since it minimizes them. But there is a place to share stuff from social media. It's called social media. Oh my god, man. These fucking mods, dude. The discussion Essence of Thought channel is specifically for discussing the new Essence of Thought content, hence being under the Essence of Thought category. Could you imagine being this autistic about Discord channels? Just have a few chats and call it a day. What the fuck, dude?
Server, due to how the word has...
Hey. Just a little reminder for everyone. There's kinda a soft ban on this server for the word drama, unless you're talking about theatrics. I just can't imagine moderating to this level where you're not even banning a particular topic of drama, but the concept of drama in and of itself. The reason being, it can come off as being very dismissive towards people who've been hurt by abuse, and is often used as a term to downplay abusive behavior. If you want to say someone is overreacting, say that, and if you're hesitant to do so, maybe consider why a word meaning exactly the same is something you were willing to use. Thanks!
Has been used to trivialize abuse.
Okay.
Furthermore, I am one of the few people who calls abuse what it is in the titles of our exposés. None of these bullshit euphemisms the cash grabbers like Scov use to avoid offending the algorithm, potentially harming their bottom dollar. I do this because I am a victim of abuse, including child rape, and potentially harming their bottom dollar. I do this because I am a victim of abuse, including child.
That sentence with the face, I mean, that goes fucking hard, doesn't it? Jesus, look at that. Oh.
Rape, and just as it hurt me to see someone refusing to name the abuse I suffered for what it is, I feel the need to avoid treating other people's abuse with the same disrespect. So to put that in quotes whilst attributing it to me is disgusting.
So here's the thing, okay? This is classic Ethel. Classic Ethel in obfuscating what is being said by focusing on the granular details. is a sign of the autism. Okay? So the thing is, it could well be true that the term Lily drama was not used. But this narrative that Ethel is trying to present, that they're just a good actor that is only talking about this in order to bring attention to it because it's important, is bullshit. Those videos made you money hand over fist, I'm sure, and that's why you made them back then. Also, what were the titles of the videos? So they're trying to claim that they don't use algorithm friendly words. Is that right? Have I got that right? Essence of Thought, Lily Orchard. Here we go. Lily Orchard is a child predator.
As a broken clock once.
This must have been a little while ago. Look at the petted nails, eh? Lily Orchard grooms her audience. Lily Orchard sexted a 16-year-old. Would child predator get demonetized? It probably would, wouldn't it? Okay. These titles are fucking crazy, man. But sure, okay, yeah. I'm willing to accept that you didn't hold back because of fears of the algorithm punishment. But I feel that that's being said to present the idea that they're doing it for the right reasons, when I just don't think that's true. I don't think they're doing it just because they've got purely good intentions. I think there probably was obviously a financial implication there, which is one of the reasons that they would have made the video. And now they're trying to act like, oh no, I even called it this, that, and the other in the title because I didn't care about the cash grabbers. Yeah, YouTube is very touchy about CSA, according to DK. So it's quite a common strategy, I think, that people use. They'll point to one thing that they've done, which points vaguely to the idea that they're not trying to placate or please the algorithm for AdSense bucks. But then there's a multitude of ways that the activity or behavior on YouTube could bring about an income with things like Patreon, right? So, yeah, I don't really buy this narrative they're trying to present. They're trying to do it for the right reasons. And whilst maybe it's wrong to say you refer to it as Lily drama, it seems like you are kind of against that concept. I think it's very obvious that Ethel did see this stuff as content they could make to benefit their channel. It's why they made so many fucking videos about it, obviously. And it's why they reinvigorated that drama recently when they accused Vangelina of plagiarism for no good reason.
And it's something I felt strongly enough to point out in our chat right after Courtney admitted they'd misremembered me claiming to have the screenshots. I straight up asked Courtney to supply evidence of where I'd made such a statement, adding that, had I done such, I'd like to apologise. I was hoping that they'd do the same thing as before, realise that they couldn't, apologise and retract said misinformation. Instead, they lashed out, telling me it was, quote, too little too late, end quote, even though I had never done what they were accusing me of. This, by the way, is late, end quote.
Too little too late, Ethel. I'm trying to do something with my pedophile sister and the minors in influence. I'm not getting in the middle of my creative beef again. I already cut my teeth on that with Poppy. You showed up to bitch about plagiarism when you had a chance to do something about Lily. Your intentions have been made clear. Right, okay. So I think here's the thing with Courtney, okay? Courtney, I think, is angry because Ethel... God, there's so many fucking names I'm trying to remember here, okay? Because Ethel came back to the forefront, not to make further material to try and take down Lily or something like that, which is what you would do if you were... Like, if someone makes a video about a topic and you want to capitalize on it to push that message, you would do that and you push that message, right? You'd say, oh my God, what great news that Vangelina has made a video about this. I can talk about this and bring more attention to the issue and bring in some new information that I may have or whatever, right? But they didn't do that. They used it as an opportunity to try and do a shakedown on Vangelina, which to me further demonstrates that this isn't about doing the right thing. This isn't about, you know, bringing about justice and stuff like that. It's a fucking shakedown because you wanted some cash because your channel's starting to fucking fail. And that was the best way that you could think about doing it, you know? So it's hyper-focusing on oversteps that Courtney has made in statements that they've said. But it's you know, kind of missing the wood for the trees intentionally, I think, by not addressing the kind of principal foundation of what they're trying to say and what they're trying to get across, which is essentially, You came back to moan about plagiarism in a drama-fueled video. You weren't actually concerned with pushing the narrative about my sister who's fucking molested people, right?
Even though I had never done what they were accusing me of. This, by the way, is why Courtney went out of their way to stress the following in their video.
So for all intents and purposes, Ethel checked out of what she called Lily drama. And no, Ethel, I don't have to show you where you said that. I don't owe you jack shit. And moved the fuck on.
This is not some bold act of defiance. I requested said evidence right after they just admitted to misremembering something else I'd apparently said. Any reasonable person would have taken a step back, checked to make sure they weren't making the exact same mistake, and apologized once they realized they were wrong. Yet, rather than do that, Courtney effectively declared themselves to be above the need to provide evidence. I wish it went without saying that that is a dangerous standard to allow anyone to operate.
Yes, if we're being extremely autistic about this, right? They should provide evidence that you said it was Ethel drama, okay? But that's not really the point, the fundamental point at hand here. The point is that, yeah, okay, maybe you didn't say that and you can debunk that all you want, but your actions make it clear that this is about, even though you don't want to call it that, this is about drama for you, and you want to do a shakedown from a creator that's made a more successful video than yours, rather than actually get to the meat and potatoes of the situation and capitalize on the new attention, you know? King Rainbow, thank you for the membership.
Operate by. This is a revelation made worse, not better, by their earlier action in updating their post. Courtney has shown us that they can do the right thing when they've shown to be promoting misinformation. They just chose not to, framing this as a matter of opinion, when no, it's a matter of fact. I either framing this as a...
I know, Courtney, that's another invention. I want you to realise you could have given me months. You give the means to have Lily charged months ago, and you're worried about optics. Actions speak louder than words, and your lack of action has been deafening.
Okay,
You were given my
wonderful.
Discord.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
King Rainbow became
Thank you for the
member.
membership.
King Rainbow celebrates 8 months of membership. All I can think of is the king from Life of Brian. Bwing out, Bwien.
I will correct inaccurate claims, but that's it. I meant on the screenshots, your opinion is your opinion, mine is mine. Neither victim, I had access to wanting to go to the police. It's dangerous for victims of sexual violence. Neither victim I had access to wanted to go to the police. It's dangerous for victims of sexual violence. Dude. Is it not crazy? Like, obviously you can't force people to go to the police, but if that's the perspective that you're walking in with, like, people that are actually advocates for victims of sexual violence and stuff, they recognize the issues and limitations of the police, but they would never support the idea that it's dangerous to go to the police. You know, they would present to you the information about going to the police in a factual manner, free of like significant bias against the police. But this person clearly is very biased against the police. And, you know, in talking to someone who has potentially been a victim, they're not presenting it. To me, that seems obvious. The way that they're presenting it is going to be heavily biased, and the person is not going to have all the information to make the best decision. But for right or for wrong, okay, the absolute best thing you can do if you're the victim of some sort of crime is to go to the police every single fucking time, okay?
Matter of opinion, when no, it's a matter of fact. I either did or did not label Lily Orchard's abuse of her victims quote-unquote Lily drama. There is no in-between here, no grey area. The fact that Courtney point-blank refuses to supply evidence after being caught spreading misinformation tells me that they know this is a lie, that they have nothing to support their accusation, but that doesn't matter, at least not in their mind. All that matters to them is hurting me. Which brings us to the assertion that I quote-unquote avoided Courtney. This is simply not true, as was expressed in my initial message read out at the start of this video. I had given Britt the green light to add Courtney to the server, and asked how Courtney would like to talk to us, a fact shown in the screenshots I provided. The reason I started with this point is that it seemed to be the root cause of...
Oh yeah, I saw this. I meant to throw this up at some point. We'll do it now. It's kind of relevant, isn't it? Grindr sued for allegedly revealing users' HIV status. Grindr, the world's biggest dating app for the LGBT community, is being sued for allegedly sharing personal information, such as people's HIV status, with third parties. Why shouldn't they? That's dangerous. Because, I mean, look, I don't think they mean, oh, a person they were going to fuck, they told them they had HIV. I think what they're saying is, it's like uninvolved third parties they sell data to were given too much information. Are you part of the... What the fuck? No, I don't have HIV. What are you on about? Yeah, look, according to the claim, covert tracking technology was deployed and highly sensitive information was illegally shared with advertisers. Law firm Austin Hayes says there's more than 650 claimants and thousands of UK users were affected. Damn. I mean, probably want to get on with it quite quickly, don't you? Otherwise, that number's soon going to get cut down quite significantly for various different factors. But yeah, I mean, you know, it seems pretty open and shut to me. If they've shared data with advertisers that is not relevant, if that's true, then they should get penalised. That's it. Even if it is about funny HIV shit. What's your opinion on the LGBT community? My opinion on the LGBT community is people should do as they please in their bedrooms, behind closed doors. They should have a sense of decency in public settings of what they do and don't do. And adults should be free to pursue whatever endeavors they desire. And kids should be left out of it. I don't know, that's my basic take. Okay, Nate Virgil's got a better response. Well, not a better response, because I obviously disavow it, but a response. They're gross. I feel like I grew up at a time in between when it was like super bigoted and stuff, right? In like the 70s, 80s even. You know, I grew up at a time where there was a push towards acceptance. But the acceptance was very much premised on the idea of, you know, adults can do as they wish, keep sex acts behind closed doors, be reasonable, be fair, whatever, right? Like kind of very basic principles with it. And it feels like, particularly over the last sort of, I don't know, decade or so, it's been pushed towards you must accept things that you would have previously said should be in the bedroom publicly. And if you don't like it, don't comment on it, don't say anything. You can't call stuff weird or whatever anymore. Don't kink shame. You know, being trans is not just about being a trans section anymore. In fact, we're going to collapse all these very disparate groups of people into one umbrella, trans, and you must be accepting of everything that comes out of that. And if you question that or have got a problem with that, you're some sort of bigot. So yeah, there's just been this push towards this kind of absurd level of acceptance that it's just not necessary to have a reasonable kind of society, you know? It's like the pride stuff. The pride stuff is nuts. You know, but if you go and look at photos of 70s pride, it's all dudes marching in suits that are like, hey, we're just normal dudes. We just like sucking a bit of dick. Can we just chill a little bit, you know? But now pride is being taken to this extreme where it's like, you know, it's not just having a sense of like, well, this is who I am and that's okay. It is, I'm going to do complete degen insane shit in public and you must be accepting of it. And if you don't like it or you complain about it, you're a bigot. I mean, you know, it used to be a right-wing narrative in my perspective. Okay? I definitely have made some mistakes with this and have got things wrong in the past. But it just is, that's the way it is, you know? That's just the way it is. Who's got the image of me? You're just at a point of view, you're about to get giga raped. Has anyone in the Discord got that image? You know, you got a fucking dude in tighty whities dancing in front of kids. I'm just like, what is going on, bro? Why are you doing this?
Courtney's problems with me, a fact that was pretty much confirmed in a recent post they made. I thought that maybe, if I could get them to look at the evidence and see that I didn't have it out for them, they'd abandon whatever grudge they picked up. Speaking of that evidence, let's check the
conversation rate is very high, 75%, whilst gay men is about 20%. Possibly because gay men are much more open and still have FWBs.
Thank you very much for the $5 Australian. I don't think it's that one. It's the image of the guy looking like this. And he's the one that was dancing in tighty whities at that Pride event. And I tell you what, do you know what was really funny? I remember like some images would get shared from time to time. And there were some that weren't from Pride. Like there was one that wasn't from Pride. It was from Folsom Street Festival. Which that's also a... Okay. Folsom Street Festival is also insane. Can we fucking stop the cap with that as well? Okay? All these street fest... I've got a question. I've got a question for you. Okay? Why is it that so many of these festivals, these LGBT festivals for adults, are public fuckfests? Can anyone explain that to me? You know, oh, well, you know, come on. We need to shut off a street for a little while to all fuck each other in public. Do you? Really? Do you really need to do that? Can you not just do that in your fucking room and come out and just party and have a good time without finding need to fist each other in the street publicly? Is that possible? Is it possible for you to do that? Are you really telling me that your desire to have sex is so intense that you cannot walk down the street without sucking each other off in some fucking gay festival? I can't bear it anymore, man. Just keep that shit in the bedroom. If you want to have an event, have an event. Have a little gay bar where you all go and fuck each other. I don't care. Out of sight, out of mind, okay? But why the streets? Why do you feel the need to do it in the streets? No, is that a crazy take? I don't know. I feel I need to fight back a little bit against this shit, you know? Do you know what the straw that broke the camel's back for me? It was the monkeypox tweet. That was the thing that really made me go, okay, this is nuts, you know? Because the guy was saying, oh yeah, I know there's monkeypox and COVID knocking about, but I still want to attend my gangbang all-man piss orgies, and so I'm taking steps so I can still do that whilst protecting myself from monkeypox. And it's like, bro, just stop going to the gay orgies for a little bit, no? Maybe that explains some of the crisis that we saw, if you know what I mean, okay? Ooh, we should probably try closing down the gay bathhouses. No, we're not doing that. We're not closing down the gay bathhouses. No way, that's homophobic. Okay, I mean, is it possible that just for a little while we figure this out, maybe we could stop just fucking each other without fucking caution? Is that possible? Dude, not going to happen. People be horny, not just the gays. Can you point me to the events, to the straight events that are like endless public fuckfests? Can you point me to those events? Because look, I accept there are straight people who engage and indulge in, you know, sexual behavior and activity, sometimes in public settings, or somewhat public settings, okay?
Non-hyper gays I know were in Islamic countries. So basically the UK in 10 years.
Thank you for the super chat. But in my experience, from what I can tell, those kind of things tend to happen at clubs, behind closed doors, and things like that. Okay? There doesn't seem to be quite the same dynamic where you've got, right, we're going to shut off a street for a week and fist each other. I just don't really see that happening with straight people, to be honest with you. Right? Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras is probably the closest, but I don't think that Mardi Gras has got quite the same, like, fuck fest mentality. I've never been to a Mardi Gras, but yes, it's salacious. But I'm not sure if people are like fucking in the streets, are they? Yeah, are people fisting and pissing on each other at Mardi Gras? I don't know. Why do you hate Pride? Because it's no longer necessary, for one thing. The main reason I don't like Pride is because of how fucking insane it is and the level of public degeneracy that is pushed, that people are criticized for not liking and disagreeing with. That's it. The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in NYC goes crazy with the fisting. Yeah, I guess, okay. The closest thing that I can think of is, and this is not something we really have over here because we're very prudish, but in America, what's that thing where guys have got beads and, you know, you give them to the girl and the girl shows you their tits? And every boyfriend fears the girl going there because they're going to get absolutely gangbanged. Oh, that is Mardi Gras. Okay, sure. Oh, spring break. No, isn't that a thing at spring break as well? But like that to me is, it's not like the same. Like you look at Folsom Street, you look at fucking Mardi Gras, say, okay, and it is like women flashing their tits. And I'm sure some sexual shit happens. I'm not saying nothing sexual happens, but it tends to be that the sexual stuff gets taken back to the room or something like that, right? But with Folsom Street Festival, right? I mean, there was a video that came out of it. There was a guy just there in public getting full-on fisted in the street. And it's like I feel like people make this comparison, and I understand why people do, but I don't think it's the same thing that's happening. It feels like the stuff at the gay shit is more extreme and intense, sexualized, fucking gangbangs or whatever and shit, you know? That's all I'm saying.
Conversation for ourselves.
Pride has gotten so bad that my gay best friend refuses to go and thinks it needs to be cancelled. It's gotten to be disgusting. Well, that's the other point too. It feels weirder because you ain't gay. See, this is what I mean. Well, you're just not gay and you don't understand. Okay, first of all, I don't think that you need to be gay to understand. Like, okay, how do I phrase this? I think you can be straight, gay. I think you can be straight and still have an issue with it. And on top of that as well, I think that some gay people get bothered about it too, you know? And they're like, because for them, I imagine they probably get a bit uncomfortable with the idea that they're presented as these crazed sex fiends that can only function in society if they have, you know, periodic weeks where they can just fuck in public in a closed off street for a bit, you know? They probably are like, oh God, what? Oh, really? Can we like put a stop to this? Because I think that a lot of this kind of mentality rose up when there was genuine like bigotry against the gays and stuff. And so, you know, there was an aspect of being, you know, the pride thing, wasn't it? You know, being proud of who you are and all this stuff. But, you know, it's kind of like, hey, yeah, we're going to fist each other in public again. And it's like, well, yeah, did you not get what you wanted? Quite a lot of what you wanted. Do you really still need to have this fucking gay festival where you fuck each other? Can't you just take it to the bedroom now? But come on, get with the times. I don't know.
Here we can see that Britt approached us about adding Courtney in May of 2023. This prompted Glade to give his reasons for not going to the police, which have been blocked out to avoid doxing him. I immediately asked whether we were certain that they were, in fact, who they claimed to be. This aside, I felt the need to double check, since I've had dozens of people.
Chud is speaking like someone who has learned everything he knows about pride from conservative propaganda. I love all the talking points. They're fucking classic at this stage, aren't they? Is it conservative propaganda that I watch a video at a pride event of a guy in the street in tighty whities dancing sexually when kids are there. Is that conservative propaganda? Just because maybe a conservative happens to have shared the video. Like, I'm looking at the video with my own eyes and interpreting the information contained within myself. And I'm seeing what is happening with my two God-given eyes, okay? Yes, obviously people... I mean, God, dude. After the segment I did earlier about that school, when all the conservatards were freaking out because I wasn't immediately concluding that a school had a fucking barrage of furries that were fucking assaulting students and nothing was being done. After I spent fucking an hour berating the conservatards in my chat, the idea that you would say that to me is absurd. When I'm making an observation, I'm not making a statement based on reading a fucking Daily Wire article about it, okay? I'm looking with my own eyes at various instances of what I consider completely inappropriate behavior at Pride events, and I'm being told, oh, well, it's just conservative propaganda. It's not. It's not conservative propaganda at all. It is just what is happening. Yeah, exactly, Don BJ. See, look, now I'm agreeing with Don BJ, and it was pissing me off earlier. That hard to concede. Yeah, some things are very sexual. I can see how someone would think it's overboard. God, that's so true though, isn't it? That's so true though, isn't it, right? It's like, even a simple concession is impossible for these people. It happened during the Balenciaga stuff, where it couldn't just be like, yeah, that's really fucking weird. I don't really know why they did that. It seems very inappropriate and they should not have run that campaign, right? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, like any step back is a loss. Any step back is a loss. You can't just say, yeah, they shouldn't have done that. Like, it feels like that's an impossible statement for some people to make. Just literally, they shouldn't have done that. That's wrong. Like, you can't even say that. Everyone was trolling you. I mean, some people probably were, to be fair. But there were some people that I think were genuinely annoyed that I wasn't just concluding. I think Pride events with kids should be heavily moderated, but I don't know why you're going after adults doing adult things with other adults. Did I not say that I think that what people do in the privacy of their own bedroom should be their business? Did I not say that? Did I not say that like 10 minutes ago? Or 20 minutes ago, maybe? I believe that you've got the right to do as you wish in your own bedroom with someone else, as long as you're not hurting anyone, as long as there's not any, any fucking pedo shit happening or whatever. That's fine. Fist away, fellas. Fist away. Go crazy. All I'm saying is we seem to be moving away from this perception and sense of common public decency with some of this stuff. And, in some cases, people seem to think it's acceptable for children to be present at events that it clearly isn't acceptable. And something should be done about that. Why do you immediately assume it's pedophilia? I don't.
Claim to be Lily's family and former friends, sometimes with multiple accounts claiming to be the same person, the most popular being Lily's sibling.
Okay, anyway, listen, I'm more interested in the... We're going to move on to the gender shit because it's a very nice transition. Excuse the pun.